Yesterday's price is not today's price. And you know what? Fat Joe is absolutely right by saying that. In this video, I'm going to help you to find and adjust and calculate how much you can charge your clients for your services without losing them and also making sure they see the value in your work. Coming up now. Hey superstar, you can be proud of yourself. You found this channel because you want more out of your life. Normal is not in your dictionary and you know you can get whatever you dream about. Less talking, more action. My name is Anna Russo, your new success host. Welcome to my podcast, Luxury Problems. All right, let's get started with this one. As I already said, yesterday's price is not today's price. What does that mean? What did Fat Joe mean by that? And how can you make sure that you are adjusting your pricing all the time, and how you're also able to raise your price without losing clients, because that's one of the biggest fear that especially young entrepreneurs have, that they raise their price and then all of a sudden they're losing all their clients, which is a fear that you can have because that can happen. But if you do it smart and if you have a game plan with it, it's not gonna happen, and you are also gaining more clients by working less and getting more money. All right, so honestly, I have not even seen the video. It was, I think, a live video that Fat Joe did where he was just basically saying in the industry, no matter what money he charged in the past, that doesn't mean that he still charged that money. Through the journey, through the development of self-development, personal development, he learned so much, and we all do. We learn on our way while we going to the top. We're learning so many new skill sets, new knowledge, how to get better in the industry that you specifically working in. If you started very young, I give you an example. I was doing my hair and makeup schooling. I just learned on a professional side to be a professional hair and makeup artist and so on. And then I knew I definitely do not want to work in a hair salon no more. I just want to be completely free. I want to be my own CEO. And what came with it was that I had to make pricing. I had to decide how much do I want to charge for a bridal service, how much do I want to charge for hair color treatments, whatever. Everything I needed to come up myself. So what are we doing? We are basically just looking around. What is the competition charging right now? If you are a hair and makeup artist, you probably want to check within your area where your business is located, that you finally find out what do other people in your industry in that specific area charge, with somehow the knowledge that you already have and the experience. When I started fresh and brand new, I didn't have that much experience. I did have my master, but the amount of years that I was working was not as big as somebody that was already working for 20 years in the industry. So what did I do? I just started I was not super cheap, but I was still starting like on a lower level because I felt like I cannot charge that much yet. I don't have like the experience yet. And here I already can say it was a mistake. It's a mindset blockage that you give yourself if you think that you cannot charge that much, because yes, we have to be realistic, but in the same time, we also have to see our values and the amount of sweat and tears we had to come to this point where we are in our industry right now. If you are into finances, if you have your own finance business, whatever that is, and you just came out of school, you have no experience, you don't have like a big record of your clients building their finances. But if you've been working now for 5 to 10 years already in the industry, you actually have a lot of proof of concept that what you're doing is actually working. So it's right enough to charge people more if you are 5 to 10 years in the industry already. And once you realize that, you also see like everything can happen so effortlessly. What did I do? I just basically looked around what do other hair and makeup artists charge as a freelancer, and that's what I was going with. After a while, I just felt like I have so much knowledge, and I went to so many new workshops and so many things that I was just more ahead than everybody else in the industry in that area that I was working and living in, that I thought actually it's not really fair if I charge the same amount. Even though clients told me, Anna, it's amazing, like I get so much more in my service that I book with you if I go with you and I pay the same amount like at the other girls' hair and makeup service, which was a compliment for me because I knew I delivered. My clients, they never had to worry about not getting the best job they could possibly get. But then at the same time, I'm like, why should I work so much? If I deliver more like others, I should raise my price. So, and that's when I started to get more expensive, just a little bit. I would say like 10% I went up. Then people at first recognized, some people didn't even recognize at all, but some people like, yeah, it's like you get more expensive, so you have to explain yourself. And that is such a horrible feeling if you have to explain yourself why you are raising your own prices, which you should not. It's again a personality development that I went through as well. It's not necessary to feel weird about your price changes. You should never be explaining yourself why you do certain things in your own business. The client can accept or decline, but you should never feel bad. They should never make you feel bad about yourself because you raised your price, because that just goes to show you that the client is not really valuing the service that you offer. That's why I had to learn for myself that I have to stop explaining myself to my clients. They can accept or they can decline. But I was young at that age. I was maybe 22, 23 years old, and I was not that confident yet. Back then I was really just figuring it out. I knew I wanted to have my own business, but I had basically no clue. And you don't learn this, even though when you do your master, you don't learn these personal things, these mindset blockages, all these things we're not getting taught in school. And that's why I thought it's super important that I talk to you about this, because everybody out there that has a skill and that has knowledge should never be worrying about getting paid and seeing your own value. And I know for sure that the whole experience that I had and the whole learnings, and I did mistakes, so many mistakes, but I learned from them. And it also showed me that I have skills and I have a lot of worth, and nobody can take that away from me no more. I was so young. I already had my complete training as a hairstylist. I have my master as a hairstylist. I have a professional education as a makeup artist. And through this time, I was working with so many celebrities in Germany. Then I was like, why should I just charge that money? And once you had to explain yourself why you charge that much, you already feel tired, because why should you even explain yourself? If the client likes your service, if the client likes what you're doing, then they come and you don't have to explain anything. And it's the same with, just imagine you go to an Apple store. If you want to get a new iPhone, even though you feel like it's overrated and overpriced, you're still paying for that iPhone without talking to the manager and tell him, so why you are charging that much now? So can you give me a discount or something like that? You can try that, but at the end of the day, you are going to buy that iPhone because the result that you want to have is good pictures, good quality, and in the same time knowing the product, because from the history of iPhones, you are seeing the value in that product, and that's why you're going to go with them regardless. And that's the same with food. If you go to a supermarket, you not start at the cashier to say, well, listen, it's a little bit too much. Like, can you give me a discount? Like, it's not even worth it. I eat fast anyways. So all these things, they're like just proof that if people really want something, they're willing to pay for it. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they are themselves not really aware of their self-worth. Because if I know I am worth to have the best hair and makeup service done because it's a special day, then I pay whatever it takes to get that service. But if I'm not worthy to feel like I deserve that type of service, then that's what I'm going to say and send out. I'm not going to pay for it, and I'm not gonna get that service. That makes me feel I deserve it. And then it came to a point where I was really working a lot. I was running around, really hustling, making so many hair clients. That time probably was like 24 years old. I was doing a lot of weddings, like a lot of brides doing their whole hair, makeup with a pre-appointment, like 1-2 weeks before the wedding. I was at a point where I was tired of doing weddings. I did not want to do weddings no more. I was like having every single weekend like 2 to 3 weddings, and I had to wake up every morning at 4 a.m. like was driving long distances to get to places where my brides were. And I was very known in Germany, in my area, because I was like so good with hair and makeup services on brides, and I was coming to the house. They didn't have to come to the salon. I was really specialized in that service. I came to a point where I just was so burned, and I felt like I don't want to deal with these weddings no more. I just feel like they're like all crazy, they're all losing their minds, these brides, and then they're not on time, they either late, or they're not paying, or they want discounts, and so on. And for the amount of work, the amount of energy that I had to put in, I don't want to do this no more. But I did not know how to explain it to my clients, and in the same time, it was good money. So I kind of was in an in-between situation. And then I had this one phone call. There was this bride that was calling me, and she's like, hey, I heard so much about you, and I'm getting married in a few months and such. She was telling me her life story, and then she wanted to know my price. And then all of a sudden I felt like I'm just gonna say a number that's not even realistic, that's like out of space. Like I tripled my service price. I tripled it so much that I was like, if I say this, like she's gonna hang up on me like that. But then I was like, this is my chance to actually see if what I'm asking for, at the end I'm also getting. I did set that number, and she was first quiet, and then she's like, okay, sounds all good to me, but I just need to talk to my husband about it. But once I know more, I'll let you know ASAP, and I will call you back. And I knew she's not gonna call me back for sure. Next day, I got a text message from this client, and she's like, thanks for talking with me. I appreciate your professionalism. I really want to go with your service. I saw your work, and I know people that have been at your place for their wedding, and I just want to make this a magical day. So she booked the service, which was a huge game changer for me, because that completely changed my whole perspective and my view of my pricing and my value. I felt so empowered after that phone call and after that message that I knew I can do this now with everybody. I did. And of course, not everybody was cool with it. There were a lot of people, and they said, why is this so expensive, and why can you please explain your pricing? And that's also how I learned to say, you know what, I am not really explaining why I'm charging that much, but there's a reason why you got my number and why you want to go with my service. But I totally understand if you are not willing to spend a lot of money on the most important day in your life. But I definitely can recommend you some other colleagues that are charging less, and I hope you're gonna be happy with that service. So once you question a client's self-worth, and when you tell them if it's not worth for you for your important day to spend on yourself that amount, then I can just give you somebody else's phone number. So if you question somebody, first of all, the ego and the pride will come out right away immediately. People never want to get questions if they would spend or if they're able to spend money. The reason why I'm saying that they don't want to spend and not they can not spend, because there will always be people out there that are not in a good financial situation and still want to make their specific day, their wedding, a very important and special one. So I know exactly how it is if you are having no money or if you like in a difficult, very hard situation financially. I've been there, that's why I would never judge anybody. But once somebody's questioning your worth and your service, you can say, if you are not willing to spend it for your important day, then I would never say, if you are broke and you're not able to spend it, I'm sorry. I would never say that. And it's not my right. I don't know who's in which position, but I definitely know that the way you represent yourself, the way you show off to the outside world, and the value that you give yourself by saying these things in a certain way can be a huge game changer for your business and also for your future. Once you stop explaining yourself to others, life can get so much easier. If you know you don't have to explain nothing to others, you feel like so empowered, you feel strong, you feel you can basically ask for anything. And there's another saying that says, you only get what you're asking for. And there's also a story from Tony Robbins. For those who follow Tony Robbins, they may know about it. But there was a homeless guy on the street, and he was asking random people, including Tony Robbins, if he can have $1. I think it was $1. Tony Robbins said no, and he was wondering why he said no. But Tony Robbins walked by him. A few days later, he saw the same guy on the street again. He asked him again, hey, dude, can I have like a dollar? And Tony Robbins said no. And the lesson that he wanted to teach him was the third time when he came, he was asking again, hey, dude, like I know you'll never give me $1, but can you help me out? Can you give me $1? And Tony Robbins gave him $1. And he told him, why are you only asking for $1? And the guy was completely perplexed and he did not know really what to say. He's like, if you always only just ask for $1, you will only get that $1. If you're going to ask for $100, the chances are pretty good that you might get more than $1. And that is a big lesson as well, that if you sometimes be afraid you might lose a client if you ask for a lot, then it just shows that you don't see your own self-worth. If you're really like critical and sensitive about your own self and you don't have that confidence, you will send out these vibes that you know that your services are not worth the amount you're asking for. And that is a super, super important thing. When people say, hey, I'm a business person, I just do my pricing, I have to calculate stuff, that's it. That is great, but it goes way, way deeper. It's way more in entrepreneurship than just calculating everything. If you're not whole within yourself, if you're not strong in your mind and your personality, and you really know your worth, you are going to have a hard time proving to others without having to prove that your services are worth what you're asking for. And that's why I learned so much about how important it is to feel centered and strong within you. Another thing that I did, because I always thought I have to do everything myself. I had to do my website myself. I was doing my logos myself, my business cards myself, my flyers myself. Basically everything that you were able to see on my business, my platforms, I did it all myself. Now, some people say that's a great thing, that's a great skill to have, Anna. Like, you should keep doing that, keep doing that. Well, if I would keep doing that on the level I am right now, I would be completely burnt out. And I learned a huge lesson that whoever has a specific skill should stick to it, and if it's not your skill, you should hire somebody to achieve that goal, because it will cost you so much time to learn that skill. It will cost you so much energy to really focus on something new besides your business, just in order to get your business out in public. And these things can save you so much time and so much money at the end of the day. I had a cute website. I was like pretty happy about it back then. So also, I met my web designer back then, Michael. Shout out to Michael Michael Kichle. And I was sitting down with him and I was asking him, how much he's charging for a website. And back then, when I was like at the age of 22, 23, when I actually hired him, for me, like, everything over 1K was huge for me. Like, it was not even something to think about, right? I don't know the exact amount no more that I paid, but definitely it was, for me back then, a lot of money. But I was tired to always being on the same level, tired being always on the same stagnant level where I was not feeling I have like a huge jump or I'm so much different from the others in my industry. But then I knew, and something told me in my head, Anna, if you really want to stand out, do things different, you need to go with somebody that works on your website, on your logo, on your branding, without you always figuring stuff out. And yes, it hurts, because when money goes out of your pocket, yes, it hurts. But what happened after this was just mind blowing. He was asking me a few questions. How much do I want to earn? How much I want to charge my clients? On which specific level I want to play? And of course I said I want to play the big game. I want to charge like a huge amount of money. And I'm tired of these people that are not paying. And these people always cheap when asking for discounts. I told him all that. He was like, okay, I'm going to work on it. And I said, so don't you want to know my favorite colors and stuff? And he's like, yeah, you can tell me, but based on what you want from your clients, I already know what colors, which design, and so on. Super interesting story. I will definitely make another YouTube video about this as well. But branding is a huge thing. So listen up. I got my website. It was all done. It was online. And then all of a sudden, like a month or so, I didn't receive one single phone call. I did not have one request no more. People thought by the website that I had, from the way it looked like, that I'm so expensive that nobody would be able to afford it. Which scared the heck out of me, because I knew if I just have now that new website, everybody's gonna think I'm so expensive that they're gonna be broke after my service. That scarcity that I had back then showed me also again how limited my mindset was. I was rather being cheap and have clients than making sure I show off with my values and I know my worth and getting the right clients, but maybe risking losing some clients. I was just more scared about losing the clients. But then I talked to my web designer and he said, it's totally fine, give it some time. Because I didn't put my price on my website. He's like, give it some time. And then, boom, all of a sudden, another wedding just called me. They were just like so amazed. And what happened then happened never to me before. Normally, my clients, when they called and requested my service, they always at some point ask how much it's going to be, like how much do I charge? And then all of a sudden, people stopped asking me. So you see, I attracted a new clientele that assumed that I have high prices and high standards and high quality services that they were not even asking. So I attracted people that have so much money that they would not even worry about the pricing because they can afford it regardless. And when I had this awakening and when it really shook me out of my core. I knew this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted all the time, and it was so simple, and I did not see it. So for everybody out there that is still battling with raising your price, changing something on your strategy, please, people, hire professionals. Hire somebody that does that stuff for a living. They know why they're doing it. Like my web designer, he know what he needed to do in order for me to get the clientele I wanted. By the way, I'm also coaching this in my coaching that I do one-on-one with my clients, and I want to make sure everybody gets the best result out of their business. And it's not easy, and I know it because I've been there and I struggled myself, but I at least always came to realization what I needed to do in order to make something big happen and change things. As I said, I did many mistakes, but I learned from them, and that's why I can highly suggest you, if you feel overwhelmed, even though it's a little bit pricey in the beginning, hire somebody that does that for a living. Hire somebody that really is professional in what they're doing, and it's gonna save you a lot of time and at the end also a lot of money. I'm just super grateful for all the things that I learned on my journey, and what I just can say is you can calculate your price as much as you want. You can come up with all kinds of numbers. You can do some research in the area that you live in, what these people are charging. But when you, at the end of the day, don't know your own worth and you feel like you need to explain yourself, please, I highly suggest you to go a little bit deeper and go within you and do some self-development work. Do some personal development work, which is so important for every area in your life, not only for business and pricing. It's so important for every single thing. If you have a lack of confidence when it comes to money, and you feel like money is something bad and rich people are bad people, you already limitate yourself and you set a little code in your brain that you are not wanting to attract money, which will definitely hurt your pocket. I hope this video helped you. I was trying to give you the best examples in my life and other people's life, and also for you to see what is possible, especially when you just start with your business, especially when you have been long out of the business you have been working in. You have to adjust new and find a way to also find the right pricing. Then this is the right video. I am super happy to have you on here. Thank you so much for all the people that are subscribing to my channel. I'm truly blessed. I'm so thankful for everybody. And let me know in the comments down below if that's something you already experienced by basically doing it, or if that's something you feel like you definitely should start doing because you at a point you just burned, you just worked yourself so to the ground that you have no energy no more, but you feel like you need to raise your price. Comment down below. And of course, for those who really want the professional help and really want to get to the core of the problem, of course you can book me in a one-on-one coaching session, and we do this together, and I'm helping you to build your business and get big in your industry. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.